Real Madrid has been absolutely destroyed by AC Milan at the Bernabeu on Tuesday night in the Champions League. 3-1 is the score. So obviously I will be going through that today and obviously going through the absolute disaster of a game. So yeah, guys, like and subscribe and obviously follow on for more content coming your way. More content coming your way in the Real Madrid kind of format. Embarrassing. Amateur defensive line is non-existent. The whole balance is wrong. I mean, there's so many things we can go through about this Real Madrid side. And just to start off one thing here. 3-1 at home to AC Milan. At our home, at our, the fortress of the Bernabeu, we've got destroyed in 2 games. Yeah, the last 2 games we've lost in total of 7-1. We've conceded 7 goals and only scored 1, which was a penalty tonight. And we haven't even looked remotely close to even play well or to even get a result. Now, there's many reasons that we're going to go through today. Obviously, the team started off with Madrid starting over Camavinga, which obviously, if you had read my tweets on my Twitter, I was with the opinion that, Camavinga should have been the first person in that team. After that last performance that he had, he was the only player who had a bit of credit in his bank and the only player who, had a bit of respect after that game, if there was any. And obviously he was the best player on our pitch, in our team, and Carlo rewards him with the bench. There's not a lot you can say about that, really. It's just, I believe, is incompetence from the manager, but we will get to the manager after anyway. Yeah, so Modric come in for Camavinga. Obviously, it was a 4-4-2, so obviously you had Modric and you had Tchouaméni as the pivot, basically. And then you had Fede Valverde on the right wing, and then you had also Jude Bellingham off the left. Now, Fede's job was to help out with Leao on that side with Vasquez, because as we already know, we are massively weak on that side, and it was only going to be a matter of time before a dangerous winger or a dangerous attack takes advantage of that, which what happened in the last 2 games, as we know. First half, again, it was not great at all. There was a lack of ideas. There was a lack of knowing what we're doing. And again, the defensive line is non-existent. The balance is completely wrong. Okay, we have midfielders like Tchouaméni who they don't really look interested. He doesn't look like he's, in the game. He looks like he's kind of coasting around. And that has been a theme of the season. We've had players who have played the games, they've started the games, they've got more minutes than anybody else, but they don't have any effect on the game. Now, there's so many things we can go through today, but the main thing today is the reaction that we were supposed to have after the Barcelona game and also after the Ballon d'Or snubbing of Vinicius Jr. We was told that we was angry. There was anger in the dressing room. We're looking at AC Milan with anger and revenge. Where was that today, lads? Where was that today? I'm confused because where was it? Where is this fight that you're trying to show? Yeah? Where is this thing that you're working on in training? Where is it? It's non-existent. It's not there. Okay? So, yeah, like I said, Tchouaméni had obviously not the best game again, which is concerning again because obviously with our balance, he is very important in that team, and especially with obviously Carvajal being out of the team and the defensive line not being great as it is. If Tchouaméni then has a bad game, that does affect it as well, and that makes it even worse. Now, he's not been great this season, and obviously a few of the goals a lot of him was down to him as well. So, I'm not going to go into too much details about each player, but obviously there's a few things. Even like I said, with Tchouaméni on the first goal, it was a free header. Absolutely free header between Tchouaméni and Militao. Okay, none of them takes the responsibility and the takes that risk of going for the ball. Is right in between them, and obviously the free header for the player there. So again, shocking set piece defending again, which has been a theme under Carlo anyway. We've never been great under that anyway. So yeah, I'm really disappointed on that as well. Now, when I was watching the game, a lot of the times, the way AC Milan was set up was a 4-4-3, a 4-3-3 narrow one, excuse me. So the midfield was very narrow. So you'll have Yunus Musa, you'll have Reinders, and then you'll have Morata coming down as a number 10 and a false 9. So they try to pack that middle of the field to make it very narrow so Madrid could go wide. Now, I believe on paper that is a bit of a risky thing because you have the best wide player in the world in Vinicius Jr. But at the moment, it feels like we just don't have any ideas. So the goal actually came from a bit of combination on the left side where Jude Bellingham slides Vinicius Jr. in and he kind of dinks it over Emerson, and Emerson Royal takes him out for the penalty. Now, penalty was great. I mean, he obviously did a Panenka down the middle, and obviously I was thinking, yeah, now the remontada starts. Now we're going to, wake up, and now we're going to play some football. However, after that, it was more of the same. And I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about in the attack as well. I mean, Mbappe, he's playing as the 9, of course, and we're struggling a lot with him because he's not making the correct movement. Now, against Barcelona, he was making too much movement, which is why he got caught, 8 times offside? But it's almost like he's lost his whole confidence. He's lost his whole aura of who Mbappe is. Now, coming to Real Madrid, it's not easy, so it could be the pressure of Real Madrid. However, we can't afford to have players who can't play to the pressure of the club or don't know how to play with a big club. I mean, that's what we signed you for, my brother. We signed you for the big bucks. I mean, I know he's a free transfer, but we paid his family, we paid his agent, we set him up, in a good financial state. So we expect to be rewarded. And obviously he's one of the highest paid players in the squad, and he's the Mbappe, he's the name, everything. So, I'm expecting a lot more from him, and we're not seeing that. And a lot of the times we see Jude Bellingham make better runs than what he does. Jude Bellingham received the ball in his own half, he's passing it, and he's running, and he's making runs past, the back line. So I think a lot of it comes down to the individuals as well in our team at the moment is Ancelotti. And Ancelotti, as much as I love you and as much as I have so much respect for everything you have done in club world football and for Real Madrid as well, you've been here for 5 years in total over the 2 stints. You know our club better than anyone, but it's time to go, my brother. I'm sorry, with all due respect, it's time to go. The players look like they're not taking in your message at all. And even looking at the way you are setting the teams up, you are pressing high again. You're constantly pressing high with this team who does not know how to press high. And neither do you, Carlo. I know it's 2024. You're probably trying to get with the times. However, it's not working. You're not a pressing coach. You never have been in any of your clubs. Real Madrid has never been a pressing club anyway. But you're trying to implement a press now. A lot of the time yesterday, I seen us press from a throw-in, or I seen us press from a dead ball. And I mean, apart from a throw-in, when you're taking a set piece, whether that's a free kick or it's anything like that, and you then choose to press, they're in control of the situation. Your opponent are going to easily pick you off. Now, we've been picked off in every single Champions League game this season. We got picked off against Lille. Okay, we got picked off against Lille, and you still carried on pressing them high. You didn't just go in a low block and just sit back and just counter them. We've done this before, Carlo. You are usually a pragmatic manager who decides to win games based on moments, right? But you're not doing that this season. What you're relying on this season is for us to try to do what we did against Dortmund in the second half, where we used the momentum of the comeback and then try to press them high and win the ball off high. On paper, we have players that can press. We have absolutely athletic monsters in our team. You've got Tchouaméni, you've got Valverde, you've got Camavinga, you've got Vinicius Jr. as well, you've got Rodrigo as well. The only person in that lineup that does not press, that I haven't mentioned, is Mbappe. Now, we can afford to have one player not pressing, but we don't need to be pressing at all. Let's just sit back and let's just become like we was in the first season that you was here and just counter teams. The problem we're having now is you're pressing high and then we're losing the balls. They're getting through our press. We're getting passed through very easily. And what happens is we have players that are out of position because you're pressing high. And then it's 3 against 3. And then our defensive line looks worse than it is. Lunin and Courtois have the biggest and hardest job in world football because there's no other team, apart from the lower league teams that they can afford to do that. There's no elite football club that allows their defensive line and the keeper to be attacked on so many times in a game. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that Carlo cannot see that is becoming a joke. I cannot believe that every single press conference we're seeing you say to us at home and all the fans across the world, you're telling us that it's not good enough. Defensively, we're not good enough. We have to find solutions. I quote, we have to find solutions. You said that in the first game of the season. We're in November. And you have not found a solution for this team. Explain to me what we're going to do. Now, you know what that tells me? That you're not fit to find them solutions. And I say that with all due respect. We have seen enough, there's a big enough sample size now to make the conclusion that Carlo and his team, his son and whoever's in the club, they do not know how to find a solution for this team. Now, we signed Mbappe. Did we need to sign him? That is a conversation for another day. But we have him now, so I expect an elite football coach to be able to find the solutions on how to play and how to win games. I'm not asking to win Champions League again. All I'm asking is to have a coherent team, a consistent team, a team who looks solid on all sides. I'm not asking to score 50 goals a season. I'm asking to be solid. We're getting peppered every game. Our attack and our defense and midfield is getting dominated every game by teams that should not be doing that. Yeah? And a special mention to AC Milan though as well. I mean, Rafael Leao before the game was benched for 3 games. Their manager Fonseca's came out a few times and said he's not really doing the defensive work that I need him to do. He's not as intense as I need him to do. Obviously, they're 7th in their league. Their last away win was against 17th in the league. We made AC Milan look like top 5 team in the world. And you know what? They played like it. And it's not the first time. We did it against Dortmund as well. They bottle it because they have a bottle gene. But AC Milan have a couple of players. I mean, Reinders in that midfield, I mean, he's absolutely sensational. I think his close control, his passing ability, his link-up play, his IQ is amazing. And you know what? It saddens me to say this, but he made our midfielders look like absolute amateurs. And for me, if I could pick any midfield for my team, it would be him. We need that type of player who's got creative mind. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. But like I was saying about Carlo, I think it's time to go. I think if you have any respect for yourself, I think you have to understand that sometimes managers cannot get their message through to the team anymore. And I think the players need a new message. Yeah. These players need guidance. These players need coaching. They need to be told what to do, how to do it, why they're doing it. Carlo, you have been the best knockout coach in history of football, bar none, because you don't have a specific style that you play. And that's why that works more in knockout competitions. So that's why I put you down as the greatest KO coach of all time. However, there's a reason that you don't win that many league titles or you don't retain league titles. Just even Real Madrid themselves, we haven't retained a La Liga title. I haven't seen us win one since 2007 and 8. I haven't seen us retain a title. We can't keep doing this moments every single season. Last season, you had Jude giving you them moments, and then you had Vinicius giving you them moments when he came back from injury. But I do not trust Carlo to be able to come up with solutions to build a dynasty for young players. And that leads me on to my next point. Why is Arda Güler not getting minutes? That's 0 minutes for the 5th time this season. This brother here, Arda Güler, is talked about as the generational talent. He can't even get a sniff of this team. I know he's not really, obviously, he's only young. He's younger than Güler. Give him a chance. We're not seeing anything different. It's the same every time. Try something different. I said on my Twitter before the game, I think Arda should be starting for this football club. If Modric can start for this football club, then Arda should be getting a chance to play in that similar role. Why not? Ancelotti has not got a good history with youngsters, and he's showing it now. Okay? In general, when was the last time Real Madrid had a gem in our academy? When was the last time? Barcelona have that absolute wizard of a player now. The absolute freak of nature. Don't know where he was born. He doesn't look Spanish to me. He looks like he's Brazilian or something. Look at him. He's come through the academy. He's 17. I think he started at 16. When was the last time we gave a 16-year-old a chance? Please tell me. When was the last time we gave a youngster a chance anyway? Can someone tell me, please? Everyone's been sold. Madrid don't have a good history with youngsters and academy players because they don't teach them football. Well, you tell me now, what does Real Madrid teach in the academy? We don't know that. Carlo came out last week and said that we've never had an identity. Okay, and I choose not to have one because I play to the qualities of my players. Listen, the qualities of your players is not good enough, is it? So are you not seeing that now? Are you not seeing that you need to change something? Now, if we want Carlo to be gone, if Carlo would be sacked today, as a hypothetical, if Carlo was to be sacked, which I don't think will happen, I don't think Carlo will be sacked because we don't really have any viable options to bring in. Okay, we're in November. And we are arguably out of every competition there is. That could be reactionary, but it doesn't look good because we have no, this is something that we can actually hang on to. There isn't, because defensively we're awful, midfield is awful, and the attack's awful. There is nothing we can hang on to. Okay? Now, when we look at the team going forward, we can't bring Raul in. Raul's not going to change anything. That's not going to change anything about our team, okay? And there's a lot of people saying that they want Arbeloa. I mean, Arbeloa is never going to jump, past Raul to get the job. It doesn't work like that, okay? What we need is an interim coach, but what interim coaches are out there? I mean, there's only one person my heart says is Zinedine Zidane. But Zinedine Zidane is not going to pick up the phone for the third time. I really don't believe he is. Because let's be honest, Xabi Alonso has to come in 2025. It should already be done now. If I could get him now, I would do. But he's not going to leave, in November, is he? So I do believe it is signed for 2025. I do think there is an agreement, 100%. But at the same time, what are we going to do with the season now? What we need to do now, okay, is Carlo needs to sit back in a mid to low block, please. Sit back in a mid to low block and have very clear pressing triggers when you do decide to go. But it doesn't need to be gung-ho like we are doing now. Like I said before, we are pressing from throw-ins, we are pressing from set pieces or little small, like a free kick or something like that. That's not going to work with these players because they haven't been told on how to do it. You have to have clear roles on what everyone's doing in the game. And something needs to be done, okay, about getting some more youth into this team. Because at the moment, the players that Carlo is trusting because of experience and, and status and money, they're not performing. It's embarrassing. The way we've been playing this season is embarrassing. There is no, respect from the players. They look like they're throwing the towel in sometimes. Even yesterday on the on the third goal, Rudiger's coming across and trying to help Vasquez, and he's jumping in, and then Reinders is there for a hit. And another thing, the decision not to sign a right back after you've lost your best or your generational right back of your history, the decision not to replace him and leave only Lucas Vasquez, who's not even a right back primarily. He changed his career around for him to be a right back and obviously kept him there for a while, but he's not a right back, okay? So you're putting him right back and you're allowing every single team in the world now are going to attack Lucas Vasquez on every opportunity. Rafael Leao was on the bench for 3 games and he's come on yesterday and he showed his manager and showed the world what he's got about him, and he absolutely cooked Vasquez. But is the board seriously sat there thinking that that's enough? So we're in November, we're going to wait till June, we're going to allow the season to go from November till June with no right back. Can someone just explain that to me? It doesn't make sense. How stupid can you be as a club? We've been told Militao is going to play Militao right back then. Because Militao would not get cooked by Leao like Vasquez does. No, he wouldn't. And then are you going to play Tchouaméni centre-back? If Tchouaméni plays centre-back and he gets injured, which he is now, by the way, which I was going to get to after, Tchouaméni's injured for a month. If he gets injured after, who plays then? Vallejo? You allow Toni Kroos to be retired while he decided himself he's going to retire. You haven't replaced him. Nacho left. You haven't replaced him. Joselu went. You haven't replaced him. You could say you got Endrick, so I'll give you that one. You've lost your best right back of your generation who had probably the best right back in the world last season, and you haven't thought of replacing him. And we keep getting the messages from the club to say we are happy with the squad. Because they're going to carry on happening. We've got Liverpool next at Anfield. Luis Diaz on the left wing just got a hat-trick yesterday against Xabi Alonso's team. It's sickening. It's embarrassing. Are we going to watch this every week? Unless Carlo does what I say, are we going to do something different? And in the winter transfer window, buy somebody. Make some signings in the winter to freshen things up. You have to. We've got a buyback option on him. Why not get from the academy a right back? He just had a man of the match performance yesterday in the UEFA Youth League. Give him a chance. Look at Barcelona. They came to our home and embarrassed us with 3 17-year-olds. And you're telling me these kids can't have an opportunity? Because we have no right back. Barcelona, okay, you can say some of them are playing because they have to. Like Kubasi is playing because obviously Araujo's injured. And then you've got Casado's playing because they haven't got another CDM. Okay, but look at the fact that when they gave them an opportunity, look how they are now. They are playing like world-class players. Played us off the park, which is the most important thing. So talking about our team, they played us off the park. Now, Real Madrid, Are you going to do something about it or not? Because we can't keep watching this every single week. Either you sign some players in January and you do something about it, or we're going to be in the same mess every single week. If you want Xabi Alonso in the summer, sit down with Carlo. Carlo, what are you doing with this club now? What are you doing with this team? Give the youth a chance. Stop pressing high. You're not that guy. Just sit in the middle to low block and just counter teams, okay, and get the defense and the midfield solid before we can do anything else. We're still in November. There could be a chance to compete for something. There is. We're only 6 points behind Barca. There is chance to do something, but it has to change. You have to. Every week we're seeing the same type of tactics. Surely he's not that stupid. Carlo, you've been a manager for 30 years. Okay, you know how to play football. But you need to get with the times. You need to get with the times and understand this team needs guidance.